Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Honey and today we are going to be making a custom design for my good friend Danny's island. He is making a space core island. I am all about it. So for my very first time ever, I'm going to be attempting a galaxy path. I'm really looking forward to it. I have a very specific idea in mind that I discussed with him, and we both agreed that I think something like this will end up looking really cute on his island. So the first thing I did, as usual, was set my color palette, and I'm just using some very deep purples and blues with some pops of lighter colors for like stars and like bright spots, which I do end up darkening those up anyway, because here's a note: when you're making something quite this dark and quite this black almost, any color, like even just a couple clicks down, is going to stand out against a color like this. So you really don't need to go very far. It's one of those less is more kind of things. So I made a few options for centerpieces because I wanted there to be a little bit of variation. I didn't want him to be like stuck with one swirl for everything, for all of the middle pieces, like in case he wanted to use it as like a full filler path on any type of area. Like I wanted there to be options. So we're making this first swirl just as like an accent piece. I do think it's just pretty, honestly. I like the way they look when I see them on other people's custom codes, so I thought this would be a nice addition to the team here. So I do adjust the colors as I go along, and I recommend that you do the same. Just keep an eye on what you're making and adjust the colors as you go. It's not going to be completely void of color. There's never anything that you make that is going to have like the design in the middle and then be completely black around. You want some subtle hue shifts in the centers and whatnot, so that it looks like there's like a variety. It's not so it's not so much of a different distance. It doesn't look so fake, I guess, basically, is the thing is. So it doesn't look so fake. I mean, we are making a galaxy path. Yes, we know it's fake, but it doesn't need to look quite that fake, that's all. And at night, it should really blend in nicely. So what I'm doing is I'm making a base piece now, which you guys see me do all the time. It's just a textured piece. You can't really see the subtle hue shifts right here in the video, but you can see them in the custom design itself. I will put the custom code in the description below. Hello, I speak English, I swear. And you're just gonna see me now just kind of drawing in the way we wanted it to be. We kind of wanted it to look like the earth was just opening up, and there was pieces of outer space coming through the ground, like just a little fantastical, kind of sci-fi like, you know. We wanted to maintain those sci-fi vibes, so I am just kind of making it up as I go along. I want it to look a little ripped open and web-like, and just like it's pushing the ground to come out. Like, I don't know if that makes any kind of sense, but it made sense in my head while I was drawing it, and I'm trying to find the words that I was thinking while I was coming up with this, but it really did. It just kind of, we wanted it to look like the galaxy was coming through the ground at some places. So yeah, that was it. And then I'm going to make a third accent piece, of course, because I feel like that variety really does enhance any type of custom design. Now, obviously, you can do as many or as few of these as you want because it's your island, one, but also your custom design slots. You may not have custom design slots for this. So every single piece that I make, I add a little bit of a difference to make it stand out from the other pieces. Like, you don't want them to all be the same, but then you want them to kind of mesh and blend well together. So I'm making up words now. And sometimes you can, here's a clue, you can remake or reuse a variation that you made, and just use that little move tool to kind of situate it a little differently, and it looks like a whole new pattern without actually having to make the whole thing over again. So there's a nice little pro tip for you that I use pretty often in these path designs. I do in order to add variation and not make things look exactly the same, but I know for a fact it'll go with the other ones that are out there. I will sometimes shift over a base path that I made in order to use that piece again. So especially if it was like very heavy in like the pixelation and the pixel art. So I will let you watch me make the rest of these, and I'll come back to you in a little bit. Okay, so lately for all of my path patterns, I have been making this single space directional piece in both directions, and I've been making the end caps for them as well in case people want skinnier, one tile, like windier, smaller paths, and they don't want to have to use only the 9 tile options and have everything be too wide in every direction. So I've been making these, but I also use them a lot. So I just take that first end piece, or one of the bottom and top end pieces, and then I do the other side basically. So I kind of cheat in a way, and then I make the end caps off of that one singular piece. I just take off one or the other end and I save them as is. So it's just less work for me that way. It ends up working out. So I did the same thing on the sides. I took one of the side pieces and then I carved out the other side. And then I went ahead and took out the top of one and the bottom of the other. So that way I had the 2 end pieces, and it ended up working out. So yeah. So I did leave a slight freeze frame at the end of every single piece in case you wanted to copy my outline in any way, copy the patterns that I used. So that is available if you want it. And here's the final path. And I did download it onto another island and take it to Aurora because I thought it would look cute there. So I just did some pictures there so you guys could see what it looks like in practice. I actually am pretty happy with this path. I think it's really cute. Okay, my friends, I want to thank you for spending time with me. I know you could be doing absolutely anything and you chose to be here with me. I appreciate you so much for that. And until next time, bye.